Get ready for your daily dose of WordPress and web development tips, tricks, and insights to help you find success with WordPress. You're listening to WP the Podcast with your hosts, David Blackman and Tim Streifler.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of WP the Podcast, brought to you by WP Gears. I'm David Blackman.
And I'm Tim Streifler.
Today we're going to continue our 4-part series on productivity and life optimizations. Today we're going to talk about healthy habits that lead to success. You know, they've interviewed lots and lots of very successful entrepreneurs, and a lot of these super successful entrepreneurs like Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, you know, any of the people that are well known, all have very, very similar traits and habits. And I wish that I could say yes, but I'm going to be honest at the end of this episode and tell you where I am. So, Tim?
Yeah, definitely. And that's actually, I'm glad you brought up, you know, the very successful billionaires and stuff. And they do all have very similar habits. And a lot of times, at least for me, I kind of think, well, yeah, I don't need to do that. Like maybe if I get to that level, then I'll have no choice. But if it's like, no, you got to flip that around. And they got to that level because of their discipline and their healthy habits that help them, you know, stay focused and not be distracted and all of those things. The first one on the list here is get sleep. It sounds so simple, but there's a saying, I think it's a quote from Ben Franklin, or it might be one of those things that someone said he said it, but he didn't actually say it. And it's a little cheesy and cliche, but early to bed, early to rise makes the person healthy, wealthy, and wise. And I think that there's a lot of wisdom in that saying because it's true. Your brain needs rest in order to function properly, to think clearly, to have the energy to get through the day. And so I think that really starts kind of the whole healthy habits. I think it starts with getting enough sleep and getting consistent sleep. I know for me, over the last year, I started, you know, going to bed earlier. I've the last couple of years, I've kind of continuously wake up earlier, but I've been going to bed early too and getting consistently the right amount of sleep to the point where my biological clock gets in a rhythm to when I don't have to wake up at that time. I naturally will because my body's used to it and I've had enough sleep and I've gotten into that rhythm. And I think much more clearly. I have much more energy because of it. I'm much more productive in the mornings because I get enough sleep. So I think there's so much wisdom in that saying, early to bed, early to rise. And so, yeah, I'm definitely not perfect. I'm trying to optimize that more and find, you know, the sweet spot of exactly, you know, what that time is that I need to be in bed by and so forth. But those intentional habits that I have been setting and following have definitely been effective. And I'm noticing the difference in my business and my personal life and everything.
And next on our list of healthy habits that lead to success is eating healthy. It's very important that you take care of yourself, not only from a sleep perspective, but taking care of your nutrition and eating healthy is good. As WordPress web developers, we're typically sitting at a desk all day, you know, snacking, and it can be really easy to not take care of yourself with food, not eat proper meals, not eat at the right times. And I'm going to be the first to admit I am terrible with this. You know, I mean, this is something that I absolutely 100% struggle with. I typically get up out of the morning. Sleep is not something that I struggle with. I get plenty of sleep. I go to bed about the same time every night. I get up at the same time every day. It's like a routine. It's just like clockwork. Where I really struggle is this part, which is the eating healthy and stuff. And it's so important because, you know, this is the fuel that we're putting into our bodies that's going to help us. And I understand the logics behind it and stuff, but getting on the right train, you know, grabbing a bag of chips or a donut or something quick is so much easier than planning, eating healthy, and sticking to a routine. I get up in the morning. First thing I do is make coffee. I go to my desk, and then I don't leave my desk till 1 o'clock. I'm working. nonstop from the time I get up till lunchtime. And by the time lunch rolls around, I'm starving, And so what happens when somebody's starving? They go for the easiest, quickest, fastest thing that they can do. And it might be donuts, chips, cakes. I don't want to take the time to make myself a nice, nutritious lunch, And because I'm a terrible planner, I didn't do it on Sunday at the beginning of the week. But Tim's going to tell you a little bit about a food service that he and I started messing around with that I got to tell you is awesome. So.
Yeah, definitely. And tomorrow's episode, Life Optimization Hacks for Maximum Productivity, we're going to talk about some of that. David likes to get a little bit ahead of ourselves here.
Dang it, I need to look at the spreadsheet more often, Tim. I'm sorry.
I know. But yeah, we will definitely share some of those, what I consider to be life hacks that can really help these things. But yeah, eating healthy is so important. There's studies that show that you think more clearly, you have a higher level of intelligence when you eat healthy and get sleep. So this isn't our opinion. This is science. Research it. I definitely recommend researching. If you're, someone who wants to, be an entrepreneur and be a high performer, Google or YouTube diets for, high performing entrepreneurs. And, there's a lot of stuff out there. Anything with health and fitness, it's always, pretty subjective, and, take it with a grain of salt. Do lots of research. Make sure you're looking at who is stating these facts and if they're credible and so forth. But like the keto diet, for example, I keep hearing more and more how it's great for entrepreneurs and all of that. I haven't started that by any means, but it's something that's kind of piqued my interest. So yeah, very, very important. The next thing on the list is minimal alcohol. Now this is something that I don't drink, David doesn't drink, and so this isn't something that we relate to directly, and we don't want to get into all the reasons behind that. But if you look at purely the health benefits of not drinking at all or drinking minimally, they're huge. I mean, it's science, especially when you drink heavily and you're hungover for a few days. It takes several days for your brain to get back to that point of mental clarity. And that's a big deal when you're an entrepreneur and you're trying to do what less than 1% of humans can do, which is start and grow a successful business. You need to be at your peak optimum performance, mentally, physically, everything. It's all connected. And so, if they're not drinking at all or drinking minimally, that can definitely play a role. Again, do your own research. It's out there. There's plenty of science to back it. We're not trying to, say that we're doctors or experts or anything like that. We're simply passing on the information that we think are healthy habits that can lead to success.
Absolutely. All right. And last but not least is exercise. Exercise does a lot of things for you besides physically taking care of your body. It also helps with the mental mindset. I don't know about you guys, but when I get out in nature and I just take a walk, it gets those creative juices flowing. And, and it's just beneficial on so many levels. Not only are you taking care of your body physically, but it seems to do something. And there's a direct link and a correlation with physical exercise and mental, goodness. I don't know why the word is escaping me. But, yeah, well, that one works too. I'm going with goodness, Tim. Mental goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, so exercising is important, so just a quick recap, healthy habits that lead to success. Get plenty of sleep, get early to bed, early to rise, eat healthy, take care of yourself, exercise, and drink minimal alcohol. Don't go out and get sloshed and hammered every night, like some people tend to do sometimes. It's, you're going to find out. So this is, again, part 2 of our productivity and life optimization series. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about life optimization hacks for maximum productivity. These things that I keep trying to expose in the first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
So, Tim, until tomorrow, we'll see you then.
Take care. Bye-bye.
We've come to the end of today's episode of WP the Podcast. Join us tomorrow for more daily tips and strategies designed to help you run your WordPress business toward success. Remember to subscribe to WP the Podcast so you can stay up to date with each episode. And don't forget to rate and review us. We'll see you again tomorrow, right here on WP the Podcast.